How's Dishon feeling? Is there anything else you can tell us about these deals?
Nothing else I can tell you. He's feeling okay. He's doing good, but I have no updates there.
Is this something that you knew when you recruited him he might have to manage or deal with going into this year?
We knew about his past. We knew about his health from the past, but thought that he was okay.
Does that, I don't know if the plan initially was to have him and Cam play together a lot. Does that, how does that change that plan? Is Cam just exclusively a 5 again for you?
No, that was the plan, to have them play together. We had done a lot of stuff this summer with that. But, we've made some adjustments, and Cam will play all over.
What about Papa? What kind of steps has he taken this offseason?
He's made huge steps, huge strides. He's looking a little bit more like the guy he was in high school and prior to the injury. He's not favoring the leg anymore. He's not thinking about it, and he's made a jump. And so we're excited about him. The biggest thing is he's got to be able to play without fouling to be able to be on the floor. But he's played with great energy, and he's gotten better.
What have you learned about Roman just in his time here on campus?
Well, he's been here now for a little bit over a month. He was unfortunately not able to be here this summer with us. He's gotten better in the month that he's been here. It's amazing, in talking to him, this is the first time he's just done basketball exclusively without the rugby, and just how much better he's gotten in the short amount of time that he's been here. I think the thing that I've been pleasantly surprised by with him is his feel for the game. I didn't get a chance to watch Roman live. One of my assistants did, went over and watched him in the U19s. But we saw a lot of tape, watched a lot of film, and that's something you can't really tell on film. Obviously, you see how hard he plays and the physicality, but he actually has a pretty good feel. And as he's getting acclimated to basketball in the United States, I think that's improving as well. But and he plays hard. He's really physical, and he has an edge about him, which is something that we love.
When you say he has a feel for the game, where does that show up?
I think his passing. I think that's the biggest thing. Again, like I said, watching tape, you don't know that. But in watching him pass the ball, watching him make reads on some of his drives, some of his cuts, and things like that.
When you saw, go ahead.
How much can you define a position for a guy that is that athletic?
Yeah, you don't. I try not to define positions for a lot of guys. I want them to be basketball players and teach them how to be basketball players and teach them how to, do multiple things on the court, the guys that are capable of doing that. We think Roman can become a guy that's capable of doing that. He's a guy that can, get a defensive rebound and start a break for us. He is very good in transition. And so we want to utilize that. He's a guy that also, he can really run. And so you can hit ahead to him. Because of his size, he can post. So he can run the floor in transition and early post. Those are things that he can do. As he improves his shooting, being able to do things from the trail spot, being able to do things on pick and pop. If there's a smaller guy on him, being able to post him. And so with a guy like him, and Cam has grown where he's able to do some things like that now too, where he's not just exclusively 15, 17 feet and in. He's expanded his game some where he can do some of those things. Cam has always been a good passer, and he's even more confident in doing those things now.
What are the biggest improvements from Cam this offseason?
I think his conditioning. His first 2 years of college, I think he averaged about 17 to 18 minutes a game, 17 one year, 18 the other year. And we needed him to play 28 to 32. And as the season went on, he wore down. And I thought he was good last year. I thought early he was really good. And I thought at the end he struggled a little bit. But I think a big part of it was that he was worn down. It's a big difference from playing 18 minutes a game to playing 30 minutes a game. I think the conditioning part is better. Because the conditioning part is better, I think the confidence in his game is better. You know, he's shooting the basketball better. He's not hurried. He's not rushed as much anymore. Not as frantic when he gets the ball, which he was at times last year. We still need him to be better rebounding than he was last year, and that's something that we've been on him and will continue to be on him about. But we feel like he's really, really grown. He worked his butt off this spring and summer, and the work has shown as we've entered into the fall.
How broadly speaking have organized practices been going, and just where do you think your guys are at right now at this point in the preseason with your first exhibition looming?
Practices have gone very well. Our guys work really hard and they play really, really hard. We've been a little bit banged up for probably about 2 weeks now, and today was our 16th practice. We've been with 10 guys. You know, Henry is hurt. He had an injury to his hand, had surgery, and he's been out. He has not practiced since we started official practice on the 22nd. And then Omdi is hurt. He had a lower body injury. Hopefully we have him back Friday. So, you know, it's been a little bit tougher with just 10 scholarship guys. And so we've had to make some adjustments. But I've been pleased with how hard we've practiced, how much better we've gotten defensively. We still have to continue to work to get better offensively. But their attitudes and their willingness to try to get better every day has been unbelievable.
You talked about improving the defense when we talked to you in the summer. I mean, you mentioned that in kind of a recruiting context. Did it show up on the court just because you had guys who maybe their profile fit, you know, a defensive identity? Did it
Show up now, or?
It did show up as soon as those guys.
Yeah, it did. It did. You know, when you have, you know, DeMarco has been a good defender since he's been in college, and he's a really good leader as well. And when you have him that can pressure the basketball like he can do it, and then Amari, I've always felt that was his strength, was defense. Barry is a good defender, he's a versatile defender, and he's a good athlete. Noy is having a chance to be at Iowa State last year. They've been one of the better defensive teams. And so he's better defensively than he was coming into college because of what he had to go through last year, even though he didn't play hardly at all. But he is very sound defensively. Those guys have a physicality about them already. Roman has to improve defensively. That's an area where he has to really, really improve in understanding the terminology and just understanding how to play defense. He's gotten better, but you can tell that he wasn't here with us this summer. But their attitudes about it have been good. The physical nature that these guys bring helps with that as well.
Can you say about your freshmen, Makari Moore and Kieran Mullen?
Yeah, those guys have done well. They've gotten better. You know, two guys that we got, you know, later on in the process. Makari's a physical guard, hard playing, has really improved since this summer. Had a really, really good summer. It's really helped him playing against Brandon, DeMarco, Amari, Noyes, Barry, guys that have experience in college. That's helped him, and he's helped them. He's pushed them. He has the ability to pressure the basketball, and he's learning how to run a team. And having DeMarco there really, really helps him. And Kieran's been a pleasant surprise, man. Like, he's big, he's fluid, moving. He's had to have a lot of reps because we've only had 10 guys. And he's done well. You know, he gets tired, you know, because he's, you know, we're doing 5-on-5 for an extended period of time. We don't have a sub. But in the minutes that he's in there, especially when he's fresh, he does some really, really good things.
Could he, you know, be one of the guys who sees more opportunity and more minutes with Dishon now?
Yeah, it could be. You know, I know the initial plan was to most likely redshirt him, but I don't know if that's something we can afford to do right now. And if they change the rule and go to 5-5, you play 5 years, you have 5 years of eligibility, there's no need to redshirt anyone. So we're waiting to hear about the rule, and then we have some time before we make the final decision. We have until November 3rd about what we want to do, but he's done some really good things in practice. Again, it helped him playing against in the summer, playing against Dishon and playing against Cam, playing against Papa. Those guys have really helped him.
Dishon was such a priority for you. I think you might have been the first guy you got out of the portal. Certainly somebody you guys went after. Does not having him, does it change, I don't want to say like the personality of the team and the type of team you wanted to put together for this year?
It definitely changes it. I mean, he's a good player. I mean, he's a guy that started every game for a team that was a top 10 team for consistently throughout the season last year. And if you look at his numbers from an analytical perspective, he was one of the better guys in the country when he was on the floor, what his team did. You know, and so it definitely is an adjustment that we have to make, but we have to make the adjustment. You know, the situation is what it is, and we'll continue to monitor it. And obviously the main thing is his health and his safety and his well-being. But you know, it is a big difference from the way the team was made up. He was a big part of it. But look, we've been down this road before, and unfortunately, you know, 4 years ago when we put that team together, I think a lot of it was put around Hughley. And unfortunately, he got hurt. And we had to make adjustments on the fly, and guys got more opportunity to step up, and guys stepped up. And so that's where we are right now. We're excited about where we are and what's in front of us, and look forward to, you know, continuing to get better every day.
I brought Brandon down with you to Charlotte. You know, I'm sure part of that's because he's been on the team before, but you know, it seems like he's mature, kind of beyond his years. What kind of growth has he gone through for the whole season?
Well, he's always been mature, you know, beyond his years. Coming from he's an unbelievable family. He's a really, really tough kid, a really, really smart kid, and is a young man that wants to be very, very good. And we want to do everything in our power to help him be really, really good. He's loyal. He played really well when he got the opportunity to play last year. You know, he's gotten stronger, having a chance to have experience from last year to start, to have a 30-point game, to have double-figure games in the conference. And even at times when he didn't play, you know, to learn from all those lessons. He has the ability, you know, because of his talent, but because of everything that he's been through, to be an impactful leader. He can talk to guys about different things. He can talk to guys about, you know, getting an opportunity and playing. If a guy is not playing as much or not playing, he can talk to him about that and share those experiences. And so, you know, we're going to lean on him to be a really good player for us, and to be a guy that hopefully can be part of the soul of the team.
I guess when you're looking at Polo, I think you mentioned at AC Media Days that he has that physicality to him that you want out of a guard. I mean, how do you kind of describe that physicality on the court? Is it just like defensively, or is it offense where he's...
I think it shows up in winning. I think he's a winning player. And being around him since this summer, you know, I think the intangible part, the intangibles that he brings to a team, I just think it helps you win. The competitiveness every day in every drill, the talk, the communication, the accountability for himself, and then not being afraid to say something to someone, to anyone, not just the guys that you think they can take it, or the guys that you think won't snap back. He's not afraid of anything. And it shows up in whether it's a big rebound. He's always been a really good rebounder for a guard. It shows up in a steal or a defensive possession, and it may not be a steal. It may just be the communication. It shows up in, you know, you're running an out of bounds play and he's getting everyone organized, or you're running the play and it may show up in a big shot. I mean, that's what I've seen from him. You know, I've loved every second that he's been here because of the intangibles that he's brought to our team, to our program, and I look forward to coaching it.
What does Providence do well that you're kind of eager to see how your team handles that challenge?
You know, honestly, I don't know. I have not watched 1 second of Providence. I've talked to Kim. But I don't really know. I'll dive into that starting tomorrow, just to get a feel. But my concern is us, is us making sure we're organized. You know, we look like we know what we're doing, both offensively and defensively. Obviously, we are a work in progress on both sides of the ball, but I love the spirit in which we play and the eagerness to be good and to try to get better.
Do you know what your starting five will be on Sunday?
Nope, do not.
You know, or don't know, or just not going to?
I don't know. I don't know. I know Cam will start. I know that. But I don't, after that, I'm not sure, which is a good thing because we've had really good competition and we have guys that have stepped up and played well.
I noticed Jamarius Burton on your website. What's he doing for you?
He's a graduate, what's the term now? Graduate manager. I think that's what you have to be able to be on the court. It's great to have him back. He's been one of the favorite guys that I've coached. Was the heart and soul of that team. Unbelievable leader. It's been cool to watch how he's poured into these guys since he's been here this summer. And he's a guy that every one of our guys should talk to, should try to be, and just pick his brain. Because since I've been here and really since I've coached, I don't know if I've coached a better competitor. I've coached a few that are as good, but a better competitor than him. And he's all about the right stuff. And so it's great to have him back, and I think he's going to become a really good coach.
You also got Jay on your staff now. What has it been like working with him, but also having someone in that role?
Well, it's been great. Jay is very different from anyone on my staff, and I felt like that we needed different, not just in the position to have the position. That's something that we've never had, and I think it's something that you need now because we need to be able to concentrate, especially during the season, on coaching, you know, helping our guys get better. Jay has done a great job. Not a good job, he's done a great job. And we look forward to him continuing to do it, but it's just, I also felt like we needed a different personality, you know, on our staff, someone that's perhaps a little bit more aggressive, that the relationships are a little bit different, and just someone with experience of putting together or helping put together really good rosters, which is what he did at West Virginia. And so, you know, hopefully he can have some success with that with us.
News broke earlier today of you guys landing Chase Foster. If you could just talk about what went into that.
I can't
You can't.
until he signs.
Gotcha.
Until anyone signs, not him.